Climate change is a big challenge of our time. Here at the Economic Commission for Africa, the narrative is that of structural transformation, i.e. where we have to add value to the natural resources that we produce in Africa. This will require huge amounts of energy. But Africa is blessed with a huge amount of energy resources, ranging from hydro, wind, solar, geothermal, bioenergy. Yet, the energy deficit in Africa is still very big. If we take electricity, for example, the total capacity in all of Africa is only about 160 gigawatts. If you take away North Africa, you take away South Africa, the rest of sub-Saharan Africa has an installed capacity of South Africa alone. Yet the continent has got all these huge renewable energy resources that it can use. Now you bring in climate change. Climate change is impacting different aspects. Climate variability is increasing the frequency of droughts in the continent, yet a lot of the energy systems depend on hydropower. Therefore, how can you ensure that the continent can deal with climate change by ensuring the security of its energy systems? For that to happen, the continent needs to take advantage of its very renewable energy resources, hydropower, solar, wind, bioenergy, geothermal, as a way of hedging any uncertainties that arise from climate change. This is already happening. The continent is at the cusp of a revolution. Renewable energy is already taking speed in countries like South Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya. But these require huge investments. And these investments have to come from the private sector. But for these investments to happen, there have to be the right policy and regulatory frameworks. Again, countries like South Africa, Ethiopia, and Kenya have already had the experiences that other countries can learn from to attract the huge private sector investment. Take, for example, just in 2014 alone, South Africa invested over $5 billion in renewable energy. A lot of this came from the private sector. But also another increasing area of financing for renewable energy is domestic resource mobilization. Of the investment that happened in South Africa, 70% about came from domestic resource mobilization. So we need to be able to replicate what has happened in South Africa to increase the renewable energy potential, to address the energy deficit, and hedge against the climate variability that the continent is already suffering from.